My name is Gus, and this is In Too Deep. All right. Today is the day. Today is the day the boat comes out of the water. This is Kip's first YouTube exposure.
You'll be scared.
This is the man behind the madness. This is the machine that we're using. This is Garrett and the crew. How do you think this is gonna go?
50-50.
Oof. We're gonna pull her right out on the boat launch. This machine's capable of carrying 35 tons, I believe. So we should be below that with the Hatteras. Garrett, this is the first marina exposure that I've given.
Really?
For the YouTube. And quite frankly, I don't know how to explain the situation here. And yeah, I'm working at this marina. What do you think, Garrett?
I think you're gonna be running that machine next summer.
There she is right here. Coming out for some cosmetic work and some mechanical repairs so that she can go south. I took the nameplates off. I know it's been quite some time since I posted. I've been busy trying to make money and building relationships here at the marina. All right, we're in action now. So this is gonna be quite the operation here. First time wearing my head mount. See how this goes.
End of the trailer's right here.
End of the trailer's here?
Right here.
Oh my God.
We want this thing as far forward. Where's the light?
Can we bring it forward more?
Yeah, we want that thing forward more.
More forward. This is Kip. He owns the place. Garrett's the service manager, managing the service. What do you think, Jacqueline? I'm gonna make it cosmetically pretty again and do a couple of mechanical repairs. This is a lot of boat for this thing. I'd say it looks like it sits pretty nicely on the trailer. Ascent's gonna go a little more out. Oh, I wonder how bad my rudders are leaking now. How do you know where it is without being able to see it?
Looking up there, where it is on the trailer.
Gotcha. Oh, there is a transducer right there.
I might be on it on the other side.
That's all right. It's what it is. Wow, look at that. Out she goes.
Could be over just a little bit.
I've never seen that bilge pump come on ever, because that doesn't take on water. So the rudder must be leaking.
Could be over just a little bit.
Oh, that would have been good. She's squirting from every freaking angle.
You get to power wash it.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I'll put my bathing suit on. What I'm most excited for is Kip to walk around this thing with a hammer.
You might not be excited for that. I got a moisture meter too.
Do you?
You want me to sound it out for you?
I do.
This is the thing that
Does it?
for this poor boat is it doesn't have, should have friggin' trim tabs.
Definitely time for zincs.
It's terrible with having to have those down like that, especially in Holland. That really sucks.
Yeah, the autopilot doesn't track. Look, they look bent.
No, they're down. They get bent in a following sea because you never want to travel with them in a following sea down, ever.
I hit one lobster buoy. It was on this side.
Yeah, I can see it right there.
So here she is, out of the water in Maine. I'm gonna pressure wash her. She's looking good to go.
Seen the skyline of New York City, fireflies in Tennessee. Sipped a little shine from a paper sack that'll knock the horns off a Cadillac. I must have sat on a dozen watch the sun sink into the sea. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt and hat.
Okay. So the time has come. I'm covered in bottom paint because I just finished wire wheeling my outer shafts that get split at the coupler there. But anyways, I'm pulling the shafts out of this thing completely. They need to be aligned, checked. I'm gonna put some dripless stuffing boxes in here, get rid of all this stuffing jazz, and I've developed some sort of moderate to severe leak at this shaft log tube here, where the log comes through the boat. So I'm hoping it didn't wear through. I know my alignment's way off. You can kind of see it's way off. So I'm on like a hell of a mission here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unbolt the couplers. I'll put it on a little time lapse so you can see how this goes. But I'm gonna have to push the shafts out of the couplers. It's gonna be interesting.
Favorite place to be is here and now. Nowhere else in this world tonight. You and me, ain't it good to be alive? Ain't no better place, ain't no better time than here and now. Everybody's waiting, but they're waiting on what? Better get to living, cause all we got is here and now.
Alright, so I got most of the bolts out. There's a couple left, but there's a drift pin that pounds through the coupler, through the shaft. So if you come over here, I pounded the drift pin almost all the way out, if you can see that. So I'm gonna do the same to the other side now. That took a little while to get that pounded out. That thing was freaking stuck in there, and I didn't want to muck it up. So I'm gonna pound this other side out, and then I can get the rest of the bolts out, and then I can start trying to press the shaft out of the coupler. The way that I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna separate the coupler from the transmission flange. Let me go over here, it's better lighting. I'll separate the coupler, well, you can't see it as well, but from the tranny flange, I'll put a socket between the two, and then I'll bolt it back together with a couple bolts. And in theory, you know, you can push the shaft out of the coupler. You know, I've done it many times, but it's gonna be tricky because this is really rusty, corroded, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see how that goes. For now, I'm bilge diving. Alrighty, I got both pins out. I've got all the bolts out. I've got both sides separated. See, I'm pushing the shaft out. Now I've got a gap. Poor lighting. This is what we call the Kip Special.
Yeah.
Walk around the boat with a hammer.
Destroying Gus's future endeavors.
All my hopes and dreams.
See, it doesn't sound like a bell. It's dead. It sounds good.
So that's a good thing?
Yeah.
So these are some of the blister repairs that I've uncovered thus far. Yeah, whoever repaired these did not do a very good job. There's another blister I've yet to peel apart yet.
That's loose.
I think that's the
loose.
That's the macerator output. I need to play with that anyway. I'm gonna redo all that sewage.
I see how red those look too. This one's pretty red.
That one's red?
Yeah.
What does the red mean?
It's pulling iron out, losing iron because it hasn't been protected.
So there's my whole survey.
Big old.
So here's the latest on the shaft situation.
All your tools.
This shaft is junk. See the pitting? I got her, you know, halfway out of the boat, and she's just, I got the coupler off on the inside. This is the coupler. I'm gonna have to dish out the big money for some new shafts for this thing, because They're, can't put those back in, not with that pitting like that. They could be hollow for all I know. So right here, I've got the first inner shaft out of the boat, and it is a whole lot longer than I thought. So that's gonna be really expensive. Really freaking expensive. Whew. Wow. Well, with that said, I'm selling t-shirts on my website. I made a website. These t-shirts will help fund my new shafting and my future boating endeavors. IntoDeepMerch.com. I'll put the link in the description. Thank you guys. Today I spent the day fixing all of the blisters in the bottom of the boat. Now I'm mixing up some epoxy barrier coat to plop over the vinyl ester filler that I use to fix the blisters. And it's dark out. It's probably, I don't know, 10:30, something like that. Anyways, we have 2 days of nice weather right now. Tomorrow's Saturday, and then after that, it's all cold weather coming, so I need to get all of this fiberglass work done. So we're out here at the boat now. I've got the floodlight going. Got my little tray of paint ready to go. Epoxy barrier coat. Those are the blisters that I fixed. They're perfectly flat if you run your hand over them. All right, so we have some big moves going on here. I have not recorded as much as I should have because I've been on a mission. I took the rudders out of the boat and they were a total shit show to get apart. I'm gonna replace the 4 bolts that hold, they're bronze, that hold the base of the rudder stuffing box into the hull. The bedding looks pretty good, so I think I'll leave that, but the heads of the bolts are a little, on the underside, they're a little corroded. So rudders are out, and the plan is, see, that's the other one. That's where the stuffing box screws on. I got all the stuffing out, and now we're gonna go into the shop. I'm gonna sandblast everything so it's bada bing, bada boom, nice and clean, ready to go. And yeah, so look, this is my setup. I've got a set of Lowe's stairs. Bam, bam. There's the boat. The shafts are out. I sent them out. And there's the rudders. Big old solid chunks of bronze. And look at that head of that bolt. So I'm gonna replace all the cutlass bearings. Bam, bam, and then another bam in there. That's gonna be its own extravaganza. Right now it is September 26, 2023, and in about a month I'm gonna be leaving on the boat to go back to Florida. So yeah, the boat has a lot of holes in it right now, and I have a lot of work to do. There's my transducer that got squished. I need to fix that. At least I got it out and it's not bent. So that's a good sign. But yeah, let's go into the shop and do some sandblasting, shall we? So, these are my rudder couplings versus having to take the whole rudder with the whole entire shaft out of the boat. They're split right above the stuffing box, and then they're labeled. So port, port, starboard, starboard, T for top on all. As you can see, they were getting a little corrody because they were seeping. So that nice beautiful carpet that I replaced like 6 months ago is gonna have to get replaced again. Here's what we got going on in the sandblaster. Rudder stuffing boxes. So let's get blasting, shall we?
Place to be is here and now, nowhere else in this world tonight. You and me, ain't it good to be alive? Ain't no better place, ain't no better time than here and now.
I'm on a hardcore mission to get this boat prepared to go back to Florida. Micah has flown in from Miami just to help me for the price of food and board, which I am so appreciative of. He's helping me get this thing back into shape. So we're varnishing all the rails, doors, I say we, he. While I'm doing some fiberglass work upstairs, I've got all of this to fix. Whew, look at that. Lot of work. But we're getting it done. What do you think, Micah?
Try to think as little as possible.
It's a whole ordeal. There's so much work that needs to get done to this boat, and it's leaving here at the beginning of November. Right now we're on the hard. There's no shafts in the boat. There's no rudders in the boat. It's in a million quadrillion pieces, but I'll tell you what, it's gonna make it to Florida this year. I don't know if you guys remember, probably not. This was all rotted at the base, so Micah made a beautiful scarf joint and got a nice new piece of wood, and he's shaping her all up, and she's gonna be brand new. We have all sorts of projects for the boat, and this is just one of them. So Micah's here for 4 months. No, I wish.
As soon as it starts getting cold, I'm out of here, so it should be tomorrow.
No, I'm gonna plumb up a new outlet for the boat so we have reliable heat, because right now I'm running through this super sketch extension cord that blows the breaker when you fire up the heater.
Put me on the spot like that, man. I don't know what to say now. Now I'm nervous.
So Micah's in here and we are
Getting high.
turn the boat into a workshop. We got these little heaters going. It's probably 90 degrees in here. Micah's at home in the 90-degree weather. We're doing wet systems, epoxy on the doors. They're gonna be beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then, yeah.
Wet Systems epoxy tastes like strawberries.
Strawberries! See, now we don't need lunch. Going at it. Gotta fix all this hurricane damage. Wow. Look at this.
Wanna take a...
So, this is my project. This is the side she tipped over on. Obviously we have some severe damage. I started grinding. She's been propagating her juices all over everything. Unfortunately, the S is missing on my Hatteras badge. Maybe I can get a new one from Sam's Marine. But I need to fix this. The flybridge needs all sorts of work. I ground that open up there, grinding this. This whole piece needs to be glued back together. So I'm hoping I can tackle this and get this done, the glass work, today. I am beyond thankful that my friend that owns the marina here has just allowed me to make a huge mess. Without this man lift, I don't know what I would do, because I'd probably risk falling off the side, bent over off the flybridge trying to frickin' do all this. Alright, so I've got this opened up in a reasonable manner. It's not going to be perfect once I get everything leveled out and sanded, and then that's just shit that gets cleaned off. But I'm going to get creative with the glass here, cutting all sorts of different things and trying some new materials that I found. I'll put it on a time lapse and you can see what an inexperienced fiberglasser can do.
In this world tonight, you and me, ain't it good to be alive? Ain't no better place, ain't no better time than here and now. Everybody's waiting, but they're waiting on what? Better get to living, cause all we got is here and now. People dreaming about a one-day Sundays, waiting just around the bend.
Alright, so I have some glass on here. I'm not particularly super happy with it, but it's my first thing. I'll grind a lot of it out and then it'll be a better starting place for the next round. Mike is making some serious headway on the rails. They're looking beautiful. And yeah. Quick little update because I'm on a mission. Next little project of the fiberglass. Glue this back together, this whole seam, and then also repair this. It's a project. But Micah is, hopefully I don't get copyrighted. I'll try and talk so that the music doesn't copyright me, but this is the rails and they're looking great. I've got this spot of flybridge damage here and I'm going to get creative. So down here I used epoxy resin, and over there it's a little more important. This I'm using polyester so it cures up quick. I'm gonna cut my piece for the inside of this. I want to put a piece right on the inside of this.
Damn it, Gus, stay away from my rails.
What did I do?
There's like little bits of glass dropping.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be really careful.
Damn it.
What, did I get something on you? Did I?
Not on me. I don't care about me.
The rail?
Yeah.
Did I really? All right, then I need to not, after this batch, I'm done up here then, because I can't risk that. All right, so I have completed my fiberglass repair. And right now it's all spotty because she is not primed or painted, but she is smooth. All the way down. I started priming that, then I'm like, I better go grab the camera to show the progress. That section I already primed. This I'm gonna prime and then paint it all white. The same white, hopefully. Hatteras Off-White 4208. My friend Ethan is down yonder. This will be Ethan's first introduction to the YouTube channel. To be explained shortly here. But Ethan's helping me do the bottom today, paint the bottom. I fixed all the blisters and stuff and primed them and painted them. So right now, this is where the chair was mounted for the upper helm, the helm seat. And this got so wet that all the core in this flybridge got soaked and blah, blah, blah. So what I'm gonna do is cut a piece of this out, see what I'm working with, and then I'm gonna add some synthetic core under there. This is all the balsa. It's just soaked. So I need to dry this out before I can properly repair it. Wow, look at that. So actually, oh, it's soft over here though. Oh, I need to cut this back until I get to some hard material. This is what we're working with. Yeah, this needs to get cut back until we get back to some coring that's not totally rotted. Smells like rotted wood. definitely got some mush in here. Now it's starting to get like smelly mush. That's bad. Like, look how wet that is. That's like a puddle. Wow. I do not want to have to cut this whole deck out. So we found a fly bridge drain. Let's see, Micah.
Ready, doctor?
Let's see it. Wow, that's a hell of a fly bridge drain, huh? That's some noxious water right there.
That's not a real train.
No, that's not a drain. That was a screw hole.
In this world tonight, you and me ain't it good to be alive. Ain't no better place, ain't no better time than here and now. Everybody's waiting, but they're waiting on what? Better get to living, cause all we got is here and now. People dreaming about a one-day Sundays, waiting just around the bend. I used to be one wondering when they come, but now I'm living in.
So here's the situation that I'm dealing with right now. In the deck was this metal bar. It looked like some rotted this, that. So what I did was I chopped it right out, not realizing that this is a structural component that travels through the fly bridge from edge to edge. So I need to weld a new piece of bar back in there. I'm gonna use epoxy coated rebar. Thank God I have access to this equipment, because I don't know what the hell I would do without it. But thank you, Kip. Does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. Very appreciated. Alrighty. So I successfully have welded in my new piece of rebar. That's all good. Nice and strong. Now, I've got the man lift up here. I'm gonna take the solar panels off so that I can access the bimini, and then I'm gonna drape this tarp over the whole fly bridge so I can enclose this thing, so I can finish up all this fiberglass work without having to worry about what the weather's doing. Because it's getting chilly here up north now. It is like October 7th, I think. Yep. I'm about to get real busy fixing my fly bridge floor that I cut apart. Got some synthetic Kusa core, and now I'm gonna put it all back together. Alright, so after many missed steps, because I have just been working and focusing on getting this done and less recording, and these batteries in the cold, they last like 5 minutes. It's messed up. Anyways, I got the whole core glued down beautifully, and I have it glassed over top, and once this cures, I think she'll be ready to fare. Hell yeah. Got the heater on it because it's chilly. It is October 14th, 2023, I believe, and I am working on the boat. Today's mission, to get the cutlass bearings out. So I destroyed the first one completely, and also I mucked up the bronze a little bit in the stanchion, or in the strut, on both of the starboard side ones. This one's really reddened and it's soft, and that's the worst of it, but I should be able to fix that up a little bit. really sucks. But as time went on, I figured out that the trick is to just sawzall a slot in it, and then it pounds right out with the air hammer. So this is the best one, and by far took the least amount of time and did no damage to the strut. So the 4th, 5th, and 6th hopefully go well. The problem with the 5th and 6th is that they're set into the boat, so you can't get behind them to hammer on them. So that's gonna be an interesting setup. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna do that yet. A slide hammer would be ideal, but that strut is in the way. There's only about 2 feet of space between these, so I can't get my big slide hammer in there. No damage to that strut. Looks good. Looks good. You know what's bad is that all these struts are red. It's bad. I wouldn't even want to know how much it would cost to replace these freaking things. Especially those ones. I am now dealing with this blind cutlass bearing right here. You cannot get to the inside of this because it is 10 feet that way in the engine room stuffing box of the boat area. Tight in there. So I started by brainstorming ideas. My first idea was to take these rear axle bearing remover sets that I have. I have one for, well, I have 3 of them for different sizes. But essentially, this thing attaches to the slide hammer, and you unscrew the nut, this flips sideways, it goes into your hole, and then it flips back out, and you can pull. So I just so happen to have the perfect size one. So I got that in there, all is good. I do not believe there is any set screws holding this bearing in. I believe it is glued in, versus these ones have set screws. So this is what I came up with. The slide hammer did not budge it. Started chiseling on it, but I didn't want to muck the fiberglass up right here. So that's pressed into fiberglass versus these are bronze. So this is my idea. Bearing splitter, 2 chain binders connected to 1 chain running to the back of the boat, connected to this wonderful forklift that has side shift in the forks. So the binders you can use to crank the chain, or you can ship the forks this way. I found that where I'm pulling from is a perfect spot where it does not bind the side shift at all, so it likes to go this way. It's very easy for it to move. So I am taking advantage of the hydraulic power. So what I have done now, started pulling and then whacking this with a hammer, and as you can see, it started to move. So I'm gonna continue with the camera recording, and you can see the process, and hopefully it comes out with without any bad events happening. Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking.
Beat on it, man. Beat on it.
I'm gonna guess that these have never been pulled out in the life of the boat, because I'm chipping away factory fiberglass to allow it to come out. All right, so update. It was way too stuck to get out, and bottom paint started cracking here. I see cracks there, which I really, really don't like. So I cut a hole here, and I'm gonna keep pulling with the forklift and hammering on something, maybe this. All right, you ready for this? I've got a good feeling about this one. Oh, the tube doesn't even look all that messed up at all. Looks perfect. All right, so right now I have the exact same operation set up on the other side of the boat, and I'm gonna give it a shot. So, I'm gonna show you what I'm dealing with on this fine day today. Right here, let's get that out of there. Just trying to burn the boat down. No, just kidding. So this is the other cutlass bearing, and I gave up on it for a couple days because this one was so stuck. I had so much pressure on this damn cutlass bearing, and this is from mishits with the hammer. Destroyed this thing. Anyway, I'll fix it, no big deal. I've synthesized a tool for pulling. Now I need to feed this line into the boat so that I can attach my tool to the end of it. All right, that's all the way in. Now I'm going to go tie my fancy tool to it so I can pull my fancy tool through. She'll get the back of the cutlass right there, and I'll rig my forklift setup back up. Well, that broke my jig. Damn. All right, so I haven't done much recording really for the last week or so. I've just been so busy working on the boat. It's November 7th today, and I'm supposed to be leaving here, Portland, on the 20th of November. So that's 13 days. And the boat is completely ripped apart. Like, I am in too deep, literally in too deep. I have the shafts out of the boat. The new shafts are ready. I need to go pick them up tomorrow morning, so that'd be the 8th. But we had a major issue. I got 5 of the 6 cutlass bearings out. I'm gonna bring you down, well, I guess I could say I got 6 out, but I'm gonna bring you down and show you what happened to the 6th. Really bad situation. Someone epoxied this cutlass bearing in. There's my puller. The frickin' shaft log tube broke out of the boat. Now this is a serious situation because this alignment is crucial. So, you know, I can fix this, but this is a serious ordeal. Essentially, I need to fix this, and then I need to get all the new cutlass bearings in the boat. I need to get the running gear in the boat. I need to get the rudders in the boat. I need to rebed the rudder bolts with hopefully new rudder bolts. I need to completely finish the sewage system. Today's mission, install my cutlass bearings. So I have already gotten 2 of them in. This is flush on this side, and then this side is set back a little. That's normal. They're 8-inch bearings. So we've got that one in, and then this one presses into fiberglass. I need to glue that in. That's going to be a little different, and then retap those set screw holes. So I am going to demonstrate my installation method on the port side here. I still have yet to repair this shaft log tube that literally just broke out of the boat because that was so glued in. But I am going to repair that later this week. It's supposed to warm back up for one last time, giving me my opportunity to fiberglass that. But I have these just set in. There's the cutlass. Bam, goes in just like that, presses in kind of hard. Need to switch out to my smaller bolt now because at the end of these threads, I had to cut this little plate out on the plasma cutter and drill a hole through it. As you can see, it's still bending, but I couldn't get a washer thick enough. smaller bolt. Oh, so I take this piece out. That goes on. That fits in there. That goes on the back. My plate's bending beyond use, but this is the last little stretch. All right, it is November 16th. Wow, I'm covered. Not really having fun, to be honest, but it is the 16th. Original leave date was the 20th. I'm working on my shaft log tube right now, and I've got the area ground down. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit, but essentially this is what I'm working with. This is the new section of tube, and then I have a smaller section that fits perfectly in the old tube and fits perfectly inside of this tube. So I'm going to sleeve it, and then I'm going to run a laser from that end strut all the way up to the engine so that I know the cutlass bearing is going to be perfectly centered, because that's very important. All right, so we've made some serious progress on the shaft situation thanks to this guy right here, Jay. You don't want to be seen, huh? Well, Jay is a Maine Maritime graduate, Masters Unlimited captain, and we have set up quite the laser setup. We've got a bullseye on the coupling in the boat, and we've got our laser setup going on here, and I've built a series of new tubes with center done here. So I'm gonna glass all this together, and as you can see, we're right on the money. Not that line, but that dot, laser wise, because that alignment is crucial, right, Jay?
Absolutely.
Alrighty, so new shaft log tube is in place. It's wedged in all sorts of directions to get that perfect center action all the way to the front. I just put the other fiberglass cutlass bearing in too. So I'm gonna blast some heat on this thing. Jay, thank you so much.
Hey guys.
All right, so I want to show you what we have going on here. Inside of the boat, that is where the prop shaft comes through the boat. That's the shaft log tube. It's 10 feet long until it comes out of the other end of the boat in the back, and the shaft travels through this whole portion. So my shaft log tube quite literally snapped off. I guess it was like cracked. It was probably cracked from when the boat tipped over. So I always had a little water leak from there, but I did not realize that that was about to snap off. So now I have no shaft log tube sticking out where the stuffing box would mount. So what I've done is I've come up with two pieces of fiberglass tube. This tube fits perfectly inside of the shaft log tube. It's 2 5/8 outer diameter. And then this tube is 3-inch outer diameter, and it slides perfectly over that. So essentially I'm gonna vinyl ester resin this thing into the shaft log tube and recreate where my stuffing box clamps on. So I've got a batch of live resin kicking off right now, so. All right, so I don't know if I truly explained what happened here with this shaft log tube. Essentially, the laser alignment method was not all that accurate. And I ended up having to gape this thing out with flat wheels and re-resin it all and use the shaft to align the cutlass. But after all said and done, it's gonna be strong. And I'm gonna do some glass wraps like that. But it doesn't look all that bad. I drilled my big angled hole for the water flow, and once it's all faired out, it'll be beautiful. It'll be very structurally sound. This thing was pretty messed up from when it fell on the port side, and I ran it a long ways, pretty messed up. I mean, the old shaft that was in this side was bent. It was wicked bent. So this should be great. I've got it all greased up. I got no resin on the cutlass, so all that's good. And yeah, she's coming together. It's a lot of work. It's 30 degrees out right now, and it is November 17th, 18th? 17th or 18th, and yeah, time to go south. So right now it is November 18th, 2023. I really want to get my boat back in the water. I am ready to go to the warmth. It is getting freezing here. So right up here, I've got my propellers and my rudders. I've got my propellers set up on a bar, sketchily, and I've also got my rudders sketchily set up. However, I don't think they're going anywhere. So when I was at the Miami Boat Show this past year, I went through this exhibit, and it was a PropGlide exhibit. Essentially, PropGlide is an alternative to prop speed, but I like it better already, even though I haven't used it, because it's made in the USA and it's much cheaper. So I explained to them that I wanted to do all of my running gear, my shafts, my rudders, and my props, and my struts. So they sent me one small kit and one large kit. The discrepancy here is that now it's way too cold to apply this stuff outside. So I am going to use just the large kit right now. I'm going to coat my rudders and I'm going to coat my props. I know my rudders don't look like bare bronze right now, but I hit those things real hard with the wire wheel, the flap disc, and that is literally as clean as I can get them without taking metal off. So there's no paint or anything. There's just some, you know, tarnished bronze per se. These things are from 1968. So I am mainly going to focus on showing you the process in which I'm going to apply the prop speed to my props. They include a very detailed instruction manual. Essentially, I need to clean the crap out of these things with acetone until the rag is totally clean, stays clean when you wipe it, and there is nothing on these props. So this is what you get in one said large PropGlide kit. You get primer, hardener for each of these, and then you get the top coat. I guess there's no hardener for the top coat. So first you clean the props real good, then you do a coat of primer, then you do another coat of primer, and then you do the top coat. If you're interested in the very specific instructions, I'll put PropGlide's information in the description. You can go buy some or check out the instructions, or just go check out their website. I really appreciate them sending me a kit, and well, two kits really, and I'm really looking forward to see how this stuff works.
Nowhere else in this world tonight. You and me, ain't it good to be alive? Ain't no better place, ain't no better time than here and now. Everybody's waiting, but they're waiting on what? Better get to living, cause all we got is here and now.
All right, so my props are done. Primer, coat, and all. So I know what they're supposed to look like because I've seen pictures and stuff. A lot of the prop you can actually still see through, you know, the primer and the coat too, but that's normal. They look really good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they perform. I know in the past it only takes about a week of being underwater for these props to just start to get some growth on them. So I am really looking forward to seeing how they work in the water. They look good. I've got my rudders primed, and once that dries, I'll put the top coat on. But I'm really excited. I think the PropGlide seems like some really good stuff, and only time will tell, but I've heard great things. And if anyone from PropGlide is watching this, thank you very much for sending me this kit. It's going to very much good use, and I am ecstatic. Oh, and by the way, in case any of you are wondering, these are 26 inch in diameter, 25 pitch props. 4-blade, bronze, Pterodyne.
Who knows? I might wind up on the cover of a Rolling Stone with a pair of shades and a Grammy in my hand. Just a blue jean boy in a great big world of yes. I got my speech already in my head. Then I'll say, yeah, I'll say, thank you, Uncle D, for teaching me to love Bomba on guitar. Thank you, girl from Broken Bow, who shot an arrow through my heart. Thank you, Mama, for the roll, and thank you, Daddy, for the rock.
Alright, so I really have not recorded much of my progress when it comes to repairing the underside of this hardtop. Mainly because I feel like I really don't know what I'm doing in this repair. And it's just time consuming, so it would be a bunch of time lapsing. But I've fiberglassed these spars and I've sanded them down by hand. And I've got all this filled in. I've got all these holes from the enclosure trim pieces that I've carved out with the sander and then wiped everything down in acetone. So I'm gonna get ready to start fairing here. First I'm gonna try and fair all these holes shut and just kind of make this whole thing flat in one unit. Wow. So I took on quite the cosmetic repair list. And it's all really last minute. We'll go back up here. I'll kind of show you what I've got going on. I have fixed all this glass. I have fixed and faired the rest of it. I don't know if you remember my big stain / major fiberglass damage problem over here. I'm sure you do because it'll be part of this video. I fixed all that, threw a quick coat of paint on it. Now I'm at the point where I am running all new sewage line everywhere, deck port, redoing the whole macerator system, changing the design, really, but I got the windshield back in the boat, got the side window back in the boat. I really got in too deep, but you know, it is what it is now. There's nothing I can do about it. But I will say, I am spending a ridiculous amount of money on this frickin' boat, and it's gonna make me broke. One of my next projects in the torn apart Bellarose is my sewage tank. In addition to having my generator completely torn apart in a million pieces, injectors out, electrical end off, and yeah, my generator was working fine. It was just time for some heavy preventative maintenance. So I got the injectors rebuilt, new nozzles, and I always had this issue where when I started the gen set, it would produce low voltage for like the first couple minutes, and it was enough to run everything except for the air conditioners. The air conditioners would code out and say low voltage. So at first I was after the slip rings, but then I realized this thing's so old it doesn't even have slip rings. It's a permanent magnet style setup, so it's possible the magnets are weak, but I know you can get those recharged. Anyways, not to get sidetracked, here's my sewage tank. I need to redo all of this plumbing. The plumbing to the toilets, or the heads I should say, is alright, but I need to redo all of the macerator plumbing, the vent plumbing, and the pump out, deck pump out plumbing. Right now, the way they have it set up is it's just wide. The output's wide and half goes to the macerator and the other half goes to the deck port. But that means when you're macerating, you're creating a vacuum in the deck line. Vice versa, when you're sucking out of the deck, you're actually sucking through the macerator as well. So if your seatcock's open, you could be sucking seawater. You will be sucking seawater. So I need to redesign this with a valve, so you decide if you want to pump out from the deck or the macerator. And then I would like to add a level gauge and replace all this plumbing with nice new stuff, with the good stuff, not this cheaper style hose. I'm gonna use the wire reinforced Strident, I think. Strident. It's good stuff. Tonight I am doing some serious generator reviving. Starting the reassembly process. So I had pulled the injectors out of it and I got them rebuilt because she always had a little haze when she ran, so figured probably wasn't a bad idea. Apparently the nozzles were stuck, all of them. Surprised it still ran so good. So I cleaned up all the washers. These are the rebuilt injectors that are kind of like halfly spray painted by the rebuilder. I'll end up painting the whole engine, so. But yeah, I'm gonna put these injectors back in. I just did all sorts of plumbing. Right there's my fresh water pump. I rebuilt that. And then I fixed all sorts of rotted plumbing. I'll attach a picture of what it looked like before. Got my little heater going on down here because it's freaking freezing. And yeah. You know, as stressful as this is, I'm still having a lot of fun working on the boat, so it's pretty cool. The shaft log tube breaking out of the boat was a big setback. You know, it really freaking bummed me out, but we're getting her done. So I've got to put the doors that I epoxy coated and varnished back on the back, and yeah. Also, this freaking crack has propagated in my windshield. I need to drill that and then fill it with epoxy. So I don't even know how that happened. I did not touch anything hard to this windshield. I was so gentle with it. This glass is just so old. Oh. So other than that, I have my generator ready to go back together. Basically, I just need to put the electrical end back together, put all the new coolant lines on, and that thing should be patched back up. I'll put the starter back in, put the water pump back on, fill it up with coolant. Sewage system's gonna be down here. I need to paint the base for it, paint the tank. I already cleaned the tank. I got my new Dyna plates installed. And I also removed the Dyna plates that were mounted back here and put zinc plates in instead. So now I have zinc plates mounted there. I'm putting the electrical end back together, and I redid some connections. Well, really just cleaned everything up and changed some nuts. But I'm getting ready to press the bearing on the shaft, and I figured I might as well show this. It's pretty neat. Hoping it's gonna work. The old one I had to cut off, that's how pressed on it was. I have the bearing in the toaster oven, and I have a can of air duster. When you turn one of these cans upside down and you spray it, you get some, I don't know if it's liquid nitrogen, but it's some really cold liquid. I think it is liquid nitrogen or some like substance. So I'm gonna chill the shaft. I've got the bearing heated, and then I'm going to tighten the nut with these washers, pressing on the race of the bearing in hopes that she comes together. All right, so these are all the nuts I replaced. We're gonna give this some liquid. Stuff evaporates like immediately. Kind of give her a good chilling. That ought to be good. All right, I've got my warm bearing. Let's see what the, oh, that should work. Oh no, I'm crushing my washers. Crap. I need fatter washers. Now the temperature is gonna change back and I'm gonna be screwed. Good morning, good morning. It is October 24th, 2023. And I am up early yet again. And today, I am taking a 40-something foot, I need to figure out the exact brand, but it's a really cool trawler, big single engine trawler, all the way to Newport area, Rhode Island, from Portland here. Should be fun. Try and get as much footage as possible, and I'll even bring the drone. So right now we are about halfway between Portland and the Cape Cod Canal. It's a beautiful day out here. Pretty sweet boat. Very loud though, very loud. Caterpillar's screaming. We're making good headway. 6 a.m. We are headed out of Sandwich. Yesterday we came from Portland. 40-foot Wayne Beal. Big cat. Little choppy out here in Buzzards Bay today. Alright, so I'm pulling into Newport, Rhode Island right now, Narragansett Bay, if you can hear me. The engine in this boat is so loud. It is crazy. Sorry, I'm steering around lobster traps as well. I didn't do a lot of recording this trip because the owner's on the boat with me. He's up there and I want to respect his privacy. But let me just tell ya, we got stuck in Buzzards Bay. 6 is on the bow. This is a real, true down east boat. And we were getting thrashed. It was pretty brutal, but this time of year, going south in Buzzards Bay, southern wind, to be expected. So we're pulling in right now. We're gonna dock this thing. Another one for the bucks. All right, so today we have my original homie here, Tony.
What's up, guys?
He is an expert of many, many things. Many things. Mechanic, but flooring was one of Tony's original expertises. So I've got him over here and we're doing some flooring work to the boat.
Most of all, thanks to the bulls that bucked me off. Woo! I'll hear what if I turn the rhymes up in my mind into a hit, and it played 100 times a day on the radio, and it gave a little broken heart somewhere, some hope. I'd jump on the stage and the chorus would go da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. Thank you.
Anyways, we've got some serious cosmetic work going on in here. This flooring's looking beautiful. And I'm over here sanding all my edges so that when we put all the new carpet in, I don't need to sand near the carpet. I'm actually probably gonna sand this whole thing. I sanded the bottom step over there and it'll be cool. So I've got my rudders in. I already installed this rudder. I repacked the stuffing box with new stuffing. I rebedded new bolts to hold that whole assembly to the hull. Don't mind this tobacco wiring. I'm working on getting that sorted out. But I figured it would be cool to show the process of stuffing the stuffing box. So right now I've got the top of the stuffing box propped up there. I've got the rudder in, and then I'll show you how it couples after. But first, I will pack this stuffing box. So 6 pieces came out. So I've cut up my perfect size, 6 pieces to go back in with their standard taper on the edge so that they mesh nicely. And I'm going to stack these bad guys on the rudder and hope the wax holds them in place the best it can. Now we're gonna put this one the other way.
But they're waiting on what? Better get to living, cause all we got is here and now. Think I fell in love for the first time with the Gulf of Mexico. Thought I found a true love in Malibu, but that water was a little too cold. Yeah, I left a few tears in the rear view, 1 or 2 that were hard to forget. Why you think we call the present the present?
That went rather smooth. These are actually the smoothest stuffing boxes I've ever done in my life. Normally this style is a total pain. All right, I'm back with a clean woodruff, and let me get my halves to this coupler. Alrighty, so these are the halves to my coupler. As you can see here, the top of the rudder shaft is right here, and we need to couple these. You need the side with the keyway, dummy. Top part. HD.
What you got?
We are doing the prop installation less than 1 week before departure date. Boat's going in the water tomorrow. Everything is last minute per usual. In too deep.
In too deep.
Polishing my shaft.
How about these fucking rudders? Oh.
PropGlide. PropGlide. Alright, so today is a massive day. It is the day, well, first of all, it is November 27th, 2023. Getting late in the year. It's a beautiful day today. Today is the day that Bella Rose goes back in the water. So I failed to record a ton of what I did, but I also did record a ton. She's got brand new running gear, literally brand new, everything. Cutless bearings, dripless stuffing boxes, props, rudders, well the props are recons. And I've been working down to the wire on this boat. I want to leave this Friday. Today's Monday. It has been a hell of a frickin' journey. So she's coming together. A lot of cleaning to do, but I am very excited. What do you think, Jacob?
Oh, I'm thinking I gotta move this thing, and it's gonna be sketchy.
Ooh, it's gonna be sketchy. We like sketchy. Shoo! Wow. A lot of work done to this thing, but the thing I'm most excited about is the new shafts. That is huge. Way too much money into this boat, but I'm in too deep per usual, and I had no choice. Anyways, she's going in the water. Touchdown! right now in this very place at this very moment. I'm putting my solar panels back on. I'm up in the man lift. Got these sketchily strapped up here. Man lift right where you like it on the edge of the pier. So that's some thick concrete. And Ethan's down there. Ethan, we're gonna have to film your introduction today. Give him a show for Frosty. Show him Frosty. Anyways, we're leaving for Florida on Monday. Ethan's all pissed off because I've pushed us forward about a month, but it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. Right now I am approaching Fort Myers, Florida with a 39-foot Nortec in tow. And it's just a little boat transport action, but this time by land. So I'm doing pretty much wherever the money's at is what I'm doing. And yeah, right now it's hauling a boat. Some of the other things I did this summer to make some money is I bought and sold a variety of little boats. I had an old Aquasport. I had a Chris Craft that I built a 454 for. I sold a handful of outboard engines. I worked on various equipment at my friend's marina. And I also spent a lot of time fixing up Bella, getting her ready for her next leg of travels. Today, I say goodbye to my Wellcraft. I'm hauling her to somewhere up in northern Maine. And look who decided to join me today. Young Nick. All right, we're gonna go trucking. All right, we're gonna do a demonstrational video of this boat's operation. It actually goes pretty good. Bye-bye Aquasport. She's sold to her new owner. This thing takes some very special oil. This was the cream monster yesterday. So the old Grady White here, she came with that motor on her. That motor's a piece of junk, look at it. So I bought this bad girl for her yesterday. Painted up the bracket, gonna redo the black. Now she's gonna get some real Yamaha power. Out with the old, in with the new. So, I'm a beginner, but I'm getting better. Little patchwork with the old Dynasty.
But it'd be better if he had his...
Don't drop the phone. I'm not going to.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Captain J on the helm. We got a vessel in tow. Look at that freaking beautiful machine. Wow. Towing them over to her permanent resting spot where she'll lay until she sinks.
Quick, they're watching, they're watching. Go, 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 go.
On today's episode of In Too Deep, this is what I've been up to all summer. Miami to Maine, the old Aquasport, getting ready for her new motor. Not without one last rip though. Wow. Little hurricane center console action. Look at the fucking swells. Turned just a bit. The day has finally come where we depart Portland, headed south for warmer waters. So this is Ethan. I met Ethan this summer at the marina, 23 years old. He's got a 42-foot Jersey Sportfish, 671s in her. I thought I heard it trying to start and saw a little smoke coming out of the tailpipe. We're chilly this morning. And this is gonna be one hell of an adventure. That's how we ended up here. We're not feeling too good about jumping in. The water's 44 degrees and I'll be setting a personal record. It doesn't hit you until it's over.
When I woke up this morning, my dinghy
Was
missing in action.
someone stole his frickin' dinghy right off the bow of his boat last night. I don't have high hopes about recovery. Big developments. Big developments. All right, we got a situation over here. Frosty is dragging. Shit, Frosty, shit. I'm getting blown off the bow. I can't imagine how much pressure is on my anchor right now. The flange was just until finally it was done. Offshore we go.
One engine with no steering.
fuel in my mouth now.
It is Christmas Day. We are in Savannah, Georgia.
150 miles. No autopilot.